Hi, right now I'm tasting coffee Dino s'mores from Off Color Brewing in Chicago. I've had the regular Dino s'mores one time like 3 years ago, and I liked it a lot. This one is the same thing, just with some coffee added. But the full roster of weird ingredients are marshmallow, vanilla bean, molasses, graham flour, and cocoa nibs with Las Marias Pacas natural coffee from El Salvador. There's no date or anything on this bottle, but I think it's pretty fresh. It has only been in the area for about a month. And I guess I've had a bunch of beers with marshmallow and vanilla and stuff like that, weird stuff, since I had this the first time. And maybe I'm more of a connoisseur now. Not really. I'm not obsessed with the super flavored stouts. But thought it was worth giving this one a try, because coffee, s'mores flavors sounds like it's going to be good. I don't know if I've seen a beer around that has those flavorings, especially one that isn't barrel aged and like uber strong and way crazy expensive. This one is a 10.5, so still pretty strong, but nothing that's going to kill you. And it pours, pretty standard looking. Not super carbonated, not the thickest head or anything. Pretty dark. No light is coming through there. It is rather dark. The head is, not like quite tan. Maybe like a light brown tan. And the coffee might be the strongest part of the aroma. It's not smelling wildly sweet, and there is not lactose. There's no lactose in this beer, so it's vegan, I assume. But a lot of these beers, where they're going for the creamy s'more type experience, they will use lactose. They want it to be like milk chocolatey. This one just uses cacao nibs. They say cocoa nibs, but that's the same thing, right? And there isn't a gigantic, big, extra added flavoring aroma of weird stuff happening in this aroma. Like maybe real deep in there, there's the molasses and graham cracker mixed in with just like that nice bready barley malt base. The vanilla, I guess, is blending with the coffee pretty well. It just smells like a really awesome kind of lighter brew coffee. Only a slight char. If I sniff real deep, I do get a little bit of toasty marshmallow, which is very nice. Because they say just marshmallow, so I don't know what that means. If they use the marshmallow fluff, if they just throw a bunch of bags of marshmallows in there. But it's a little bit more subtle in the aroma than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, that is rich and sweet, full-bodied. It almost seems like there's lactose in the flavor. Lots of dark chocolate, lots of toasted marshmallow. Oh yeah, I'm getting lots of actual marshmallow flavor in the finish, which is pretty cool. I like that. Interesting. Maybe it's just because I had this in the fridge for a while and the carbonation isn't crazy, that the aroma isn't booming out of there. And there's just a little bit of a almost bourbon-like heat, though there is no barrel aging happening. But in the aftertaste, I love that perfectly toasted marshmallow, just a hint of char, but nicely dark brown marshmallow. Probably the vanilla's working with that pretty well. And the coffee is just adding a layer of roasty, fruity complexity. It's really nice, and it's got a good body, the 10.5%. There's no heat. And it's much sweeter in the flavor than I thought it was going to be, but it's not really syrupy. Pretty silky on the tongue. I mean, there's just still a bit of a bubbly bite to it that makes it so it's not, crazy thick and fudgy. And then there's a very slight coffee astringency that I think actually works with it. Adds a little bit more bitterness. but the aroma is actually it's a lot of dark fruity coffee flavors. What's really great about this beer is the flavor, and especially that aftertaste of toasted marshmallow. I'm really in love with that. I think the vanilla really helps to bring that out and make it this kind of woodsy, spicy, sweet sort of thing. It makes you even think a little bit of campfire, though I don't think, yeah, they don't use any smoked ingredients here at all. No smoked malt, but a lot of different fancy malts in here. But it is nice to roll it around on your tongue a little bit, but then it finishes a little bit more stringent and dries it out really well, even though on the tongue at first it seems pretty sweet. But then the lingering, I guess it's not, the finish is a little bit, astringent coffee like, but then it lingers with that flavor of the toasted marshmallow, and that's when it really shines. You got to take sips of this and just kind of think about it, let it soak in, and then take another sip. This isn't a mind-blowing experience. It's not gonna, be as intensely aromatic as a lot of these newer, crazy flavored dark beers, but it's gonna give you a lot of really, really great brewed, mouthfeel, just a lot of stuff that kind of people overlook, I think, these days in beers. They just want a flavor explosion, sour, super aromatic, but they care about the body sometimes. But whenever you look at reviews on Untapped or almost anywhere, one person will say, "Oh, too sweet, too syrupy, big body," and someone says, "Oh, it's a tad thin." This one, I'm sure some people will say it's a tad thin, but it does have a luxurious body that's not just syrupy, that you can only get when you really know how to brew a beer. And there's no lactose in this or anything. They're not kind of cutting any corners to get a rich, thicker body. But just the way it rolls around on your tongue is very, very nice. And yeah, the lingering malt complexity with a lot of these added flavors are giving me almost bourbon-y sort of thing. Like the marshmallow with the charred malts combined are kind of making this sweet, charred, weird experience that's, I guess, with the vanilla too, that's almost reminding me of bourbon barrels. I'm sure there are bourbon barrel versions of the Dino s'mores out there, but base beer is, pretty cheap and pretty available. I guess not always out here, but I like it. And it's one of the first crazy s'mores beers to come out in the market, I'd say. For a rating, I'm not quite sure, but about 4.25. It almost tastes like a breakfast stout, like an amped up Founder's breakfast stout with extra s'mores ingredients added. That's it, because it has that kind of more old fashioned, cleaner, deep malt depth focused body and everything that the Founders does that makes that beer such a perennial favorite. But probably close to 4.25 or something like this. I don't know if I'll do 4 on Untapped or something, but I pretty highly recommend it if you see this beer. Don't buy it if it's $30 for the 2-pack, and yes, this one comes in 2 packs, because some people are going to try to rob you like that. It's not that. It's not that expensive. And goodbye.